Howdy everyone, this is Trisha and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to put together these faux succulent arrangements. Alright, so the first item that we're going to be using are these faux succulents. Now I got these from the Dollar Tree and they were already in these little pots, but you might be able to find them without the little pots, and you can find them pretty much anywhere. And I've got these four that I can choose from to use for my little arrangements. Alright, so another item that I'm going to be using are these stones. I did purchase these from the Dollar Tree, but you can pretty much get them from any other place. And I chose these white ones. Of course, you can choose whatever color you like. Now, if you prefer not to use the stones, I have some moss here that I'm going to be using on one of the little arrangements. I found these also at the Dollar Tree. This is reindeer moss, and these are some faux moss stones. Again, you can find products like this at any floral or craft store. I also chose these items. These are little glass vases or votive holders. These are also from the Dollar Tree, but again, you can purchase them from wherever you wish, or you may already have something at home that you could use. Any container. It doesn't have to be glass or it doesn't have to be see-through. And to help us put together our arrangement, we're going to be using some styrofoam. We're just going to need some small pieces, so if you have some scraps, you can use that. And for our tools to put it together, I'm going to be using this little knife. I just call it a craft knife. It is just a regular little steak knife that I purchased from the Dollar Tree, so anything like this that you can use for cutting in your craft room is perfect. And I'll be putting this all together with my glue gun and of course some glue sticks. Alright, so to create my first arrangement, I've got my little succulent here in the little pot. Now I could choose to put that right in there, but it's a little too low. And I could prop it up with a piece of styrofoam, but I could also pull it out and then just cut a piece of styrofoam to put in there at the right height so that I can then just rest that in that styrofoam. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to compare it in height. It fits nice and snugly if I just put it in there, so I don't have to cut the sides, but I do have to cut the top. So I'm just going to make a little marking. And I'm actually going to cut just a little bit lower. There we go. Alright, so now I'm going to use my hot glue gun to put some glue at the bottom of my container. And then I can go ahead and insert my styrofoam in there. And it will stick to the glue. Just like that. Alright, so after I glued my styrofoam in there, I realized that it was too close to the edges. And I want to be able to drop stones on all four sides. So I went ahead and I trimmed my styrofoam a little bit more. And now I can throw in my stones and they will fit on the sides. If a stone is a little too big, then save it for when you get to the top. Okay, so I'm almost at the very top of my styrofoam here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my succulent in there, push it in where I want it so that I can see where that's going to be, and then I can pull that out and finish filling it up with little rocks. And the reason that I'm doing that is because if I have that in there, again, little branches might get in the way and might make it uncomfortable to put in your little stones. But instead of putting the little stones up at the top, I'm actually going to be using these faux moss stones. I thought they were really cute, so I'm going to go ahead and use those. So I'm going to pull this out. I'm also going to make sure that I don't see any styrofoam. I can shake it around, tap in the little stones. There's some spots where I can kind of see it, but it's not too bad. So just shake it down. Move all the little stones downward. There you go, till you're satisfied. Okay, so that little hole there will let me know that that's where my little succulent is going to be inserted in, so I don't want to put anything right there. But these here, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on them. And then glue them to the sides like that. Let me see how many will fit. I think maybe 3 or 4. And there we go. Okay, anywhere where I see little gaps, I can throw in some little stones. Just making sure I don't cover that little hole. There we go. So I used 4 of these. And now I can insert this on there, but I want to put some glue so he doesn't pop out. And put that right in there. Okay, so that's our first one. Alright, so now I'm going to create a second one. And I had a little bit left over of the styrofoam that I trimmed off the other piece, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. That fits perfectly in there. There's plenty of room on the sides so I can fit in the little stones. So I'm going to put some glue and put that right in there. Again, I'm going to fill it up with little rocks first. The other alternative to this is that I could fill it up with the moss, this reindeer moss, all around the sides, or even some potpourri. Alright, so I decided that I'm going to do a combination of the stones and the moss inside the jar, so I can see how that looks. I'm going to add a few more of these stones in there, so I don't have to put too much moss. Okay, so I'm just giving it a little bit of a shake to kind of level them off a little bit. So now I'm going to take clusters of moss and stick them in as close as I can to the edge here of my little bowl. This is going to be a little bit tricky because it is rounded. That right in there. And before I work my way around, I'm going to put some of these little rocks right in front of it, between the moss and the styrofoam, just to hold this moss up against the side here. Now if you get a little stone, just take it out, fix it, and then just push your little line of moss down again. Okay, so I'm going to do this all the way around, pushing the moss to the edge and adding some stones to hold it in place, because I want to have a line of moss, just like I do of rocks. Okay, so here I have the moss and the little stones, so I've created 2 layers, and I'm going to finish it off with the little stones up the top. Okay, so now I want to see where this is going to be placed, and it's going to be right here. So I can see a layer of stones, moss and stones, but I want to make sure that I don't see the styrofoam. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this back out, and now I can see that I placed my little stem right in here, so I'll know not to cover that. So I can add more little stones on the sides here, and then just push them down so that you make sure that they don't rattle around in your little vase. So always make sure they're pushed in and everything is well compacted in your little vase. You could also take some glue, put a little bit of glue on the little stones, cover the edges of the styrofoam, and then you'll know that those little rocks won't move from that spot, like they won't end up over here on the little edge. Okay, so I finished adding some little stones around the edge of the styrofoam just to make sure we couldn't see that. You could also drop little drops of glue here and there between those stones, and then just drop some smaller ones in there. Push them in place in case you see little cracks. There we go. I need one more. over here, and then just push that little stone into each other. You could also pour some glue on top as you're building up with these little stones, and then put a layer, and then put more glue and another layer. Alright, so our final step is just to put some glue on the stem and stick it right in there. Alright, so one final thing that I did was I did lift up the little leaves like that and then tucked in some more stones. You don't have to do that, but I just wanted to make sure that I didn't see the styrofoam or any of the stem. And that's that. Alright everyone, I have completed my 2 faux succulent arrangements. I think they look really pretty. It was simple, easy to do. Now, like I said in the very beginning, you could also use a container that is not see-through, and I've decided to use this cute little tin cup, and I've placed my little succulent in there and just covered it with some reindeer moss at the top. And it does have the styrofoam in there, just like I did to these 2. So there you go. These are my little arrangements, and I hope you enjoyed my idea. It's super easy. These can be put anywhere. I think they would be wonderful in somebody's office just to brighten up their desk or little computer area. Maybe if you're having kids doing their homeschooling and you just want to give their little desk where they do their work a little brightness, or even in a bedroom, it would look really nice. I think I'm going to put these by my kitchen window or even around my sink. They would look really pretty. All right, everyone. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up. Thank you everyone for subscribing, and if you haven't done so, you can just hit that red subscription button, and after that hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified of my videos, which come up twice a week. Alright everyone, please share on your social medias, and as always, enjoy.